In the summer of 2023, 80 young entrepreneurs from all over the world came together at the University of Michigan to bring their startup ideas to life. On WeTalk, we hosted some of these extraordinary individuals, as well as interns from the camp coming from renowned universities. So, stay tuned and enjoy. Welcome back to WeTalk. Today I'm really excited to be interviewing two very inspiring individuals. We have Joanna and George. So to just kickstart this, can you tell us a bit about yourselves? So like your upbringing / background, your interests, and what and where you study.
Hi guys, I'm Joanna. I'm from the Bay Area. I was raised there, and right now I'm studying business administration with a minor in applied analytics at USC. So I've always been interested in the business side of, I guess, the world and entrepreneurship, but I've also really loved just like biotech and how you can use data science in that area. So I'm just really excited to see what kinds of things I can do with what I study.
Hi, I'm George. I'm from Atlanta. I was born and raised there. I currently study business at the University of Pennsylvania in the Wharton School. I don't really have like a reason why I chose business like Joanna, but I think it's pretty fun. A lot of my people in my family have done business, including my sister, so it just seemed like the right track.
Yeah, so how did you guys go about finding what you want to pursue?
I think there's a lot of trial and error. I was interested in a lot of different things in high school, and I think there's also a big push on finding a lot of extracurriculars in high school. Like, I did sports, I did music, I did debate. But, for me, I think it's realizing first what classes you really like. Like, I just like the business classes we do have, but also what kind of job you want to make and what kind of impact you want to make. Because, for example, I was interested in film, and I did study film at USC for like a semester, and I loved the class, and I learned a lot. It was interesting to me, but I realized I couldn't really work film into my career, so that's why I kind of chose analytics instead.
I guess I haven't really fully figured out what I want to do as well, because in the field of business, there's a lot of things that I would concentrate in, but I don't know so far. But I mean, even as a whole in high school, I didn't really have business as a set. I mean, I did a lot of debate too, and I originally was supposed to go into all the schools I applied for as political science, but then I switched it at Penn to Wharton pretty last minute, and I've just been sort of figuring it out as I go. But I think it's just kind of goes to show that you don't really have to be pretty stead. Like, you don't have to already know what you want to do and just have a solid foundation. You can change. I know a lot of people are changing deep into their college years too.
Yeah, definitely. Just find something that you like to some extent and make sure it's stable, and you can always have a career change in the future. And do you guys foresee yourself changing paths at any time?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I feel like right now I think I'm going to go into product development, marketing, or consulting, but to be completely honest, I think that as I grow, my interests will also change. And I've always thought about this as a joke, but honestly, who knows? I could go to culinary school, open my own bakery, So I feel like I just like to kind of take things as they go.
I haven't really thought about a job. I guess I've been pursuing, or at least looking for finance and consulting related, but I think I might, if there's other opportunities open, I'd probably try, especially since I still have a passion for policy and political science. Literally Penn was the only school I didn't apply for political science. So I always consider that I could also take a job in DC or really any flexible job relating to government or policy, but I'm just kind of willing to see what my degree will get me.
Got it. And we don't have to have it set in stone all the time. Yeah. Changing gears a little bit, can you guys tell us about what you like about your university, why you chose it, and also the activities that you're doing there right now?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go
first.
Okay. So the reason I chose Penn was because I kind of have a pretty long history with it. My sister, who's about 5 years older than me, also went to Penn, and she also studied in business in Wharton. So I would always be visiting her a lot, and I guess I saw her through the process of applying to it. I just basically saw her entire journey through Penn, and I didn't really love any other college that I visited, and I honestly didn't even have that close of a connection to Penn, but I have a connection to my family, and I feel like my family already has a connection to Penn. And it's just I chose it for that reason. As for the life in the school, I think Penn is the one school that really exemplifies the play hard, work hard as in the Ivies, because they go hard, they work hard. Me personally, I don't work as hard as like most other kids, but I mean, I think for a lot of students, they can make it out to have an amazing time there, but also have like a really good degree. And there's also like plenty of clubs that can help you with that. But it's a fun school, but do it as you want.
For me, like, I never thought I'd go to USC because my dream throughout all of high school was going to the East Coast, actually. And then even applying to USC was like a last minute thought for me, kind of. But then after I got in, I think, first off, I was interested in film. So like for me, it was like film and business. Like where else could I really find myself studying both at like a good university, I guess, who has like good resources for that program. So that's why I chose USC. And then I also visited before like I actually committed to it. And the campus is so pretty. Like I think USC has one of the prettiest campuses. It's all red. There's a lot of spirit at USC. And I think I realized I liked that a lot. And the campus was closed off. And then what I do, I'm part of the business school's like student government. So I work on just like different topics and things that the business school is facing. I would love to join a consulting club next semester if they'll take me, please. I would love to, like, especially the ones about social impact. I'm really interested in those. And I'm thinking about joining, like, the swim team, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I guess it's really important to gauge like the spirit or the atmosphere of your school. Like you said, it's play hard, work hard, and if that fits with you, then definitely like look into that. And then you said like USC has a lot of spirit, it's energized. Yeah. So like definitely look into that when like picking a university. And I was wondering, what do you think is the biggest reason why you got into the schools that you did?
I can go first.
Okay.
I feel like I tell a lot of people this, and I think, my stats aren't like superb. They're not super excellent. I came from a pretty competitive high school too, and I mean, definitely wasn't top of it. I wasn't like the big national leader in much. But I think what compelled me to get in, I guess I got off the wait list. I think what got me in most was the fact that everything that I did do, I was able to translate it into like why I did it and like the passion behind it and like what the growth I did from it. And I think like a lot of people have like, they're president of like 12 different clubs. They've been on like 7 different officer boards. But that doesn't really matter unless you can communicate why you were passionate about it and why you did it. And I think I did that pretty well because I just talked about my love for debate and community activism, and just connected it all.
Sorry.
Thank you. But also, like, I would have to admit my sister probably did help a little bit. And she did help a lot in, like, the application process, but just, a tiny bit of a nepotism.
I'll just add on to that. So, yeah, I think it's really important, like, and it's good that you, like, asked, like, your network for help, like your sister. And, like, diving into what you said about, like digging into your why for everything that you did. This is something that we actually like learned at the summer program that we're all at right now. They're interns for it, which is like find your why before you do the how or the what. This is called the golden circle. And like finding a why and conveying that to an audience is much more attractive than just saying like what you did or how you did it. You want to know why. And I think like the why is something that's constant with you, and it's something that like motivates you to do a lot of great things in the world, and that's what I guess admissions officers really want to see. So yeah, Joanna, what did you think got you in?
Before I answer, I actually have a funny story. So in my multi-class, or in my senior year, like multivariable, one of our first assignments was actually we watched that TED Talk about start with why, and then you had to submit a why. And it didn't have to be like math related, it's just like what you want to do with your life. And I submitted the essay that got me to USC. About the company I started in this program, I guess I can show it. Yeah, in this program. So I actually like submitted that essay because, to be honest, like I know you're not supposed to, like use assignments for each other, but I already wrote it, I liked it, and my teacher actually like read it to the whole class because she was like, this is the perfect example of a why assignment, basically. Yeah. So I really do agree with the like start with why. And first off, honestly, luck. Like, I know that a lot of people say they get into colleges for, like, X, Y, and Z. And obviously, like, doing things will help you. But I hope people also realize at the end of the day, there is nothing that will, like, 100% get you in unless you have, like, $5 million. In which case, like, sure, you'll get in. But, like, there's nothing that you can just say automatically, oh, like, that will get me to the school. Because I know people who go to IVs and they got rejected from, like, state schools. They got rejected from UCs. So I would say there's luck. And then also, like what George was saying, with just having one story and one passion. Like, I got into USC with computational neuroscience. I wrote a lot about the research I did, and I feel like doing real research actually helps because it means you're making a real impact in the world. So I talked a lot about that. And then I also talked about just things that I'm really passionate about, which was sustainability at that time. And I feel like if people see that you are someone who wants to make a change and can make a change, and someone who's constantly doing things to like drive forward with your passions, they realize that no matter what your passions are, you're someone that they want at that school, like someone that can inspire others at that campus.
Yeah, so keyword change maker and making sure that you have the why and it has like manifested in like all the activities that you've done. Okay, another question is, how do you think your perception of your majors have evolved when you like during your studies? So I guess like expectations versus reality.
Well, we both study business.
Yeah, we do both study business.
And there's definitely a stereotype that business people like don't really have a lot of work to do. They don't really have to work that hard.
A little bit true.
Their classes are easier.
Some stereotypes
And
are based off.
as a STEM kiddie, all I have to say is business classes are easier, other than financial accounting. But like most classes are easier, but realizing that the way you succeed in business is the network you create outside of classes. Like, it doesn't mean that because classes are easier, you don't have to do hard work. People who actually succeed and are able to like get better jobs or just like build better connections, like you have to do a lot of reaching out and honestly putting yourself in awkward situations and situations you don't want to be in just to like see if something can happen.
Yeah, I guess I just echo everything Joanna said. I mean, it is just true. I mean, a lot of people in Wharton, they like the classes are a lot easier, but you can still see them. They still sleep the same amount because what isn't in schoolwork, they're doing other things. But still, I do believe that. I mean, like the workload is definitely a little softer. I mean, it makes it so that it's a little less harder on you academically. But yeah, I think like just the same thing. I mean, me personally, I hate doing like networking and I hate putting myself in those awkward positions. And for like a first year, it was really difficult for me to sort of get myself fitted in. But I think it's just something you have to either get used to or force yourself to get used to. And I think once you get comfortable with it, I think that's like the reality of what business school offers you.
Yeah. Actually, really funny. I think that financial accounting was like the easiest course I've taken thus far in high school, but maybe it's just because like my course was like kind of diluted. But anyway, I agree with like all of what you guys said. Like business definitely pushes you out there and forces you to grow as a person. Like talk with people, network with people, just like we're doing right now. Yeah. And fun question then. Like what major would you have done if not the major you're doing right now?
Do you have an answer?
I have an answer.
Okay.
I mean, I already talked about it, but definitely political science. I mean, I did a ton of debate in high school, and I did a ton of political work. But honestly, I tried a poli-sci minor and had a lot of reading, so maybe not. And in that alternate case, I picked up a music history class. It was pretty fun, I thought it was really funny to talk about music history. I'm lying. I'm lying. I don't know. If it wasn't political science, even though I don't like it, I probably would just be undecided for a while. And that is an option at the College of Arts in Penn.
Yeah. I don't really know because biotech is still like, I guess, a safe option for me because I love biology, but like I didn't want to go the doctor route, so I was like, oh, biotech. And I feel like there's a future for that with AI and everything. But if I could choose anything, honestly, I feel like I do psychology or something with film. Like, I just love those topics. I love learning about them. If, I guess, like, the degree you got wasn't connected to the career you had to go into, I would just choose to learn something that, like, interests me and, like, piques my interest.
Yeah, definitely make sure you're doing something that you want to do because you don't want to, like, live day to day, like every single day for the rest of your life.
Maybe.
Unless it makes money, then like I guess you can pursue like what you love as a side hustle.
Yeah.
Okay. In a more serious tone, like I think there's a huge push right now, where like especially like Asians, I think we know like people are saying to pursue the thing that's the most stable, pursue the thing that's the most like money making, like CS, finance, medicine, all of that, even when it's something that you don't actually like. And sometimes we're actually gaslighted into thinking that we do like it.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have to a high school student who's right now is like confused? Like maybe their parents have been telling them all along to like do like CS or something, but they find it's not actually what they love. And how can they get the bravery to actually go for something that truly fills their heart?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm being honest with you. The reason why I chose business isn't because I love business or it was my passion. I think I just chose it because it's just a route to have. I wasn't in love with political science either, and I think it's like perfectly okay to not have that passion, and you don't have to really choose something. If I consider anything like, oh, business could just be a placeholder, I don't think it will be. I'm just gonna like awaken in the middle of college and find a new passion. So I think it's more important about just like separating your educational life and your real life. I don't like to think about my school like super often. I like to sort of just think about me doing me, and then everything professional, everything educational is on like a different level. And that way I can still do the things that I'm really passionate about and just have them disconnected from my everyday life. And even then, business is a way you can pursue things you are passionate about. But, I think it's just, you don't have to necessarily be so invested in one thing. And you don't necessarily have to put everything on like your major, your job. But I think, it just depends on who you are.
I feel like I have a lot of respect to people who love their job and it's their like dying passion, and I feel like they must feel really fulfilled in that sense. But for me, I've always thought my job as a way to fund for my life. Like, obviously I don't hate what I'm doing, but at the same time, I know that I can live a life outside of my job where I find my own hobbies and I like dive into my own interests. So like what George said, business, in my opinion, is a good place where you can like go into other sorts of industries in like a different minor or just like studying something different. You can always kind of like pivot in that way. So I feel like business could be a place to look at. And to be completely honest, like I hate comp sci. Like I hate coding. Like I did so much research in computer science. I had to take all these computer science classes and I despised every moment. Like I cried in my comp sci class in high school. Not saying I was bad at it, like I could do it, but I know I don't like it. And honestly, I do think I gaslit myself a little bit into the biotech world because I just didn't want to go straight bio knowing I wasn't going to do med. But I think, like, as long as you don't despise your job, you can take the time to find interest. Like, as a high school student or even as college students right now, we don't know 100% everything that's going to happen or what we love or what we want to do. And I think high school, as long as you can show you're someone who wants to get to know more about a subject or someone who's passionate about learning about different subjects, like, that matters more. And college, you have more time. Like, people will change majors, and I would say just, like, don't stress yourself out trying to find something that you think you'll do forever, because in reality, you probably won't.
Yeah, I guess to sum it up, it's just that it depends from person to person. If you don't want to do a 9 to 5 that you really dislike, then make sure you do something you're passionate about. But if you want to do something that is probably more stable and you think that you can separate like your work life and your personal life and do things you'd like during that time that you're not working, then like that can also work for you. So do you guys have any general advice for high school students or something that you wish you knew when you were in high school? We'll start with George.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I do have a lot to say about this. I think I lost a lot of time in high school that I should have had just like being a high schooler. My sophomore, junior, and senior year were basically consumed with like me doing one thing or another. Sophomore year is like debate, running around, traveling all over. Junior year is COVID, also debate. Senior year, I was doing college applications. And I think looking back, I didn't have to do all that. There were so many things that I missed out on doing just because I was so wrapped up in this idea of I have to be the best kid to get into college. When in reality, I think all of that stuff was just sort of like kind of fodder, because at the end of the day, I didn't write about it. It didn't really matter too much. I didn't really express it. And I think the one advice is like to have the kids is like don't put a lot of pressure on getting into school. A lot of people I do know, like all of the like really cool admissions you see on like Instagram or TikTok, which shows all their stats, the reason why you think those are like every single one is because they're highlighted. They're so special. So the algorithm is like, oh, look at this person who got in with all these stats. When in reality, like these schools are not like homogenous. They're not a monolith. And the reason what they're looking for aren't for like people who are outstanding at everything and can do like, you know, super prestigious things, but really they're just looking for people who would contribute to the campus and have like an interest and show that they're like good people and are passionate about things and are willing to actually, you know, contribute to the campus and to the student body. And they would choose that any day over just like a really stacked multiple club leader or like a 1600 SAT. So I think that just tells you, I just wanted to say, like, take time in high school to find your passion, take time in high school to do things that you like, things that you can write about, things that you can say, you know, had an impact on you. Because people talk about all different kinds of things in their essays, and at the end of the day, they're looking for the things that you find the most important, that shaped you the most, and it doesn't have to be like a super prestigious things. It just has to be your passion and something you can connect to.
I really like that.
Yeah. I agree with everything George said, and also with like the whole awards thing. Like every award I ever got, or just like nomination, any sort of competition, it was just one line in the award section. Like when I wrote my essays, I wrote about like Beyonce. I wrote about like single ladies. I wrote about like
Yeah.
I wrote about just like things that really made an impact on my life.
Single ladies.
Yeah, single ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like little moments of my life that actually made me think differently, and that wasn't so much all the competitions or like learning I did, and also to just like really take it easy. Like high school is such a high school is such a stressful time. I think that you're so like streamlined into one vision. Everything about your life seems to be about college. And especially when you're surrounded by other people who think the same, you like feel a lot of stress. So for me, actually, when I was applying to colleges, I didn't tell anyone where I was applying. I didn't want to know where people were applying. Like, of course, if, you know, they talk to me about it or they're excited about something, I would love to talk to them. But I didn't tell people where I got accepted or denied. Honestly, most people don't even know I go to USC for my high school, just because, like, I didn't feel the need to have this, like, name, I guess, on my identity. And I just really wanted to live my senior year, like, with the people that I like spending high school with. So I would just say, like, take it easy, be nicer to yourself, because you're doing a lot better than you probably think you are. And please sleep, because in college you will not really be getting that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I agree, take it easy. And I think that taking it easy will actually pay off in the end, and you'll be like a healthy person in the mind, in the body, and like be the kind of person who would like contribute to a college campus and be able to do that, which is what George said they're looking for. And repeat that.
No, I'm just gonna say, don't waste your time on stupid boys. Like, to be honest, my grades fell for people, and they shouldn't have. So just know, they're not worth it.
What do you have to say, George?
I guess echo everything Joanna said. Maybe not about the dating part, but I think high school is an opportunity to just have fun, in my opinion, and discover who you are. Like, to put it bluntly, like, if you're sad and depressed and like not having a good time in high school, it's not gonna just immediately fix when you get to college. It's just gonna transfer over. So it's really important to just take that time to, again, be like, you know, what Elaine said, in a nice, healthy spot, and to like understand yourself. And then, you know, once you get to college, it'll transfer over. It won't just immediately fix. If you're fucked up in high school, you know, you'll still be fucked up in college.
Yeah, I think that's golden advice there. I think that's a great way to end off this interview, so thank you guys so much. And to the people watching this, I'd say, like, go do what you want and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and I think that it will have rewards in the end.
Subscribe. Like this video.
The world is filled with endless knowledge and opportunities. So join me as I continue to explore them. Let's learn from each other and expand our perspectives. Thank you.